Alrighty, so getting started with the first lesson, we're going to cover the real number system. And the smallest set is the natural numbers, which is just positive whole numbers. You add a 0 to that set and you get the set of whole numbers. Then if you add all the negative whole numbers, you get the set of integers. And then if you add all the integers plus any number that could be written as a fraction or a repeating decimal or terminating decimal. For example, a repeating decimal will look something like this. Okay, that could be written as a fraction. Or a terminating decimal, something like this. That could be written as a fraction. All right, so that would be a rational number. Then you have irrational numbers, which cannot be written as a fraction. So you will not get a repeating decimal, and you will not get a terminating decimal. So what does an irrational number look like? Well, they could be radicals. Then you have pi, which goes on forever, and there's no pattern to its sequence. And then here's a little side note here. Some students say that this is an irrational number, but if you simplify it, you get 2. So it's actually a rational number, or more specifically, a natural number. Alrighty, let's go to an example. Alright, determine which numbers in the set are natural numbers. Okay, so that would be positive whole numbers. We got 5 and 12. Then we got whole numbers, which would be the set of natural numbers plus, oh, here we have 0. All right, integers would be the set of whole numbers plus negative whole numbers. So we have -7 and -3. Could also put those in order if you want. Then we have rational numbers, which consists of all the integers plus any number that could be written as a fraction, or it could be a repeating decimal or a terminating decimal. So let's see if we have any of those here. Yeah, we have a terminating decimal here. So that's 3.12. We also have a fraction here, 5/4. And we also have -7/3. All right, and I think that's it. Yep. And then we have irrational numbers. Well, we covered all these. Those are rational numbers. Well, what's left over? Square root of 5. That would be the irrational number. Alrighty? Next example. Okay, give a verbal description of the subset. So this is how you would give a verbal description of this inequality. This is the mathematical way of describing this. X is greater than 3 denotes the set of all real numbers greater than 3. All right, that's the mathematical way of describing this. It denotes, another word for that, you could say represents. Okay, the next part, they say draw a row number line. So let's draw a number line. We're starting off at 3. Okay, and you may be familiar with using the open circle and closed circle when working with inequalities. But in pre-calculus, we'll be using parentheses and brackets. Parentheses is the same thing as an open circle. So here I'm going to use parentheses, and it's greater than 3, so I'm going to go to the right. Okay. And then it's asking if it's bounded or unbounded. Well, bounded means there's a start and there's an end. Here we have a start, but it goes on forever. All right, so that means it would be unbounded. Next example. All right, once again, we're going to describe this inequality. So we'll say that this denotes the set of all real numbers greater than or equal to 0 and less than 5. Could use the number or the word. Okay, number line for this as well. We're starting at 0. We end at 5. Because we have an equal sign here, we're going to use a bracket for the 0. That means that it includes, that's the same thing as a filled in circle or a dark circle. Then 5, we don't have an equal sign here, so we're going to use a parenthesis. And it goes from 0 to 5. And then is it bounded or unbounded? Well, it has a start point and has an end point, so this would be bounded. That's all there is to that. Going on to the next example. Use an equality notation to describe the set. All right, all y in the interval -6 to 0. Okay, so we're starting at -6, and we end at 0. All right, and we're using the variable y. It has a bracket here, so we know it includes -6. And here it has a parenthesis, so we know it does not include 0. All right, when you're interpreting this, that's the same thing as looking at it like this. Well, y has to be greater than or equal to -6. But since we're doing a compound inequality, that means you got to flip around the sign, and the small number comes first, the larger number comes second. All right. And y is no more than 25 is no more than 25. So it can't be more than 25, which means it has to be less than 25. Does it include 25? It says no more than. So yeah, it could include 25. And there's our inequality for describing that. All right, now on to your first assignment. Just look down the web page and you'll find your assignment. And this is the first time I've ever used this application. So as I get used to it, I'll be able to write nicer and do cooler things and use different colors and all that good stuff. All right, please ask questions on the assignment if you have any.